Tonight, let's gently explore a question that has fascinated physicists for more than a century. What is a photon actually made of? You've heard the word many times before. Light is made of photons. But what is a photon? A photon has no mass, no size. It can never stop moving. From the instant it exists to the instant it disappears, it travels at exactly the speed of light. And here is the strange part. A photon does not move through space like a tiny glowing bullet. It is something far more mysterious.
If you find this kind of deep exploration fascinating, a quick like or subscribe really helps the channel grow. It's a small thing for you, but it makes a huge difference for me.
A photon is an excitation of a field that fills the entire universe, and understanding this changes the way we think about light, matter, and reality itself. For thousands of years, humans misunderstood light. The ancient Greeks imagined that vision came from rays sent out by the eyes. Others believed light was simply a change in the air between objects and the observer. Then, in the 1600s, Isaac Newton proposed that light was made of tiny particles called corpuscles. This explained reflections and shadows very well. But another scientist, Christian Huygens, suggested something completely different. He believed light was a wave, and eventually, experiments began to support him. When light passed through tiny openings, it spread outward. When two beams of light crossed each other, they created patterns of brightness and darkness. These behaviors made sense for waves, not particles. In 1803, Thomas Young performed the famous double-slit experiment. Instead of producing two bright lines, light created an interference pattern, proving that light behaved like a wave. Later, James Clerk Maxwell made an extraordinary discovery. He showed that light was actually an electromagnetic wave, a ripple in electric and magnetic fields moving together through space. And suddenly, light, electricity, and magnetism became part of the same beautiful theory. But then something unexpected happened. At the beginning of the 20th century, scientists discovered the photoelectric effect. Certain kinds of light could instantly knock electrons out of metal surfaces. And strangely, the color of the light mattered more than the brightness. Bright red light failed. Dim, ultraviolet light succeeded immediately. This made no sense if light were only a wave. So in 1905, Albert Einstein proposed a radical idea. Light delivers energy in tiny packets, discrete bundles. These bundles were later called photons. Each photon carries an amount of energy determined by its frequency. The higher the frequency, the greater the energy. This idea completely changed physics. But here's where many people become confused. A photon is not a tiny glowing ball. It is not a miniature object flying through empty space. Modern physics tells us something far stranger. The universe is filled with invisible quantum fields. The electromagnetic field exists everywhere, even in empty space, and a photon is simply the smallest possible vibration of that field. Imagine a calm lake. When a ripple appears on the surface, the ripple is not separate from the water. It is the water moving. A photon is similar. It is the electromagnetic field vibrating with one quantum of energy, not a thing inside the field itself disturbed. And unlike ordinary waves, these vibrations are quantized. You cannot have half of a photon, only whole units. One photon, two photons, three photons. Each one is a tiny quantum ripple in the electromagnetic field. And this leads to an extraordinary conclusion. A photon is not made of smaller parts. You cannot open it and find pieces inside. There are no subphotons, no hidden machinery. A photon is already fundamental. It is one of the deepest building blocks of reality. Right now, trillions of photons are moving through the space around you. Photons from distant stars, photons from your room, photons from your screen. All of them are tiny excitations of the same electromagnetic field that stretches across the universe. And perhaps the strangest part of all, the universe may not truly be made of particles at all. According to quantum field theory, everything begins with fields. Particles are simply vibrations inside them. A photon is not a tiny object traveling through space. It is space itself, gently vibrating with light. And tonight, as you drift toward sleep, remember this: the light surrounding you is not made of little glowing balls. It is the universe itself, quietly rippling in the dark.